Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Trying out something different today. I'm actually in the VC with the boys right now, but it ain't about them today. As you probably already guessed, I've already done a week worth of Aimlabs, and the whole point is can a week worth of Aimlabs actually make a difference? And so you don't need to wait till the end of the video, because I will be talking a little bit more about some other stuff. Pretty much the answer right now, can a week worth of Aimlabs actually improve your aim in actual games? It's a little difficult to say, but I'd say yes. Not entirely, it really depends on what you want to improve, right? Personally, what I've seen that you will improve in Aimlabs if you actually do work on it for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, maybe hell 2 hours, because personally I can't even do anything more than that. I tried. After a week, the first thing that you're probably going to find is that you're probably going to improve your tracking. That's like the biggest thing I saw myself improve. Later in this video, you'll see some of the clips that I'll pull up from Valorant that I actually have, that I went from this to this type deal. And let me tell you, I've actually improved leaps and bounds compared to that I was before. So why don't we get right into what I did during the week and what you can do to improve on Aimlabs in a week. So getting right into it, day one, I started off doing basic tasks like static click, tracking challenges, and of course spider shot. That's like the most popular one that I've seen, so I wanted to try it out myself. So I went and did a few of those type of challenges. They were interesting. They tested me out. I had to do a lot of different testing in terms of getting my settings right. I did need to change it up a bit, especially the DPI. That is like one of the biggest things, guys. You gotta change your goddamn DPI on your mouse if you need be, and even change the goddamn sensitivity inside Aimlabs. You don't want to be Speedy Gonzalez over here. That isn't you're trying to improve your aim, so you don't rely on the speed, rely on your reaction. So you don't want to have super quick, you want to keep it nice and steady. Doing basic spider shots, angle shots, or anything that can work really well. Though I definitely should not have done this during the first week, but to try myself out, I did do something called the Voltiac training benchmark, or the Voltiac novice benchmark, I should say. It's a training benchmark, yes, but it's the novice in specific. I'm gonna make it nice and quick, but I didn't really improve during the first day. It was a little hard, but it was just basic challenges here and there. I'm just gonna leave it off at that, because day one you won't really improve that much. Just do basic challenges, mostly focus on tracking and reaction. So doing those type of things will really help out a lot. So on day 2 and 3, I decided to change that up a bit. I decided to get away from the Voltiac, the novice benchmarks, and tried some of the challenges that Aimlabs has. For example, I started doing Spider Shot Ultimate, which, by the way, for all these, I actually did them all on Ultimate. So I ended up doing Spider Shot Ultimate to warm up a bit, get my wrist and clicking a bit up. After doing some Spider Shot Ultimate for probably 20-30 minutes, because I will say every single day I did keep myself on a 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes. I didn't go anything above that because my mentality just couldn't handle it. I'd get so bored and I couldn't even continue. Hell, I was even falling asleep a few times. So after Spider Shot Ultimate, I decided to move over to the second thing that I did, which was static clicks, which you just had to track while shooting, which was interesting to say. It was pretty much a spider shot. And then to end it off, I ended up practicing from static shot to pentakill, which surprisingly, I will say pentakill is actually one I would actually recommend. Because it helps with reaction and tracking at the same time, which absolutely great, right? You only have 5 bullets, 5 targets, just make sure you hit all of them. Probably the best thing you could do. And I will say I tried my best not to give up during these, because I kept trying to beat a high score, because the way Aimlabs will show it to you, you actually get your high scores each and every time. Your goal is to try and beat it. By the end of your 1 week, you should see that your score barely changes, right? You'd have a really good high score. That'd be really hard to beat. That means at least you're improved, right? You've done a lot better than you did before. And then to end it off on my last 10 minutes, I decided to do strafe tracking, which is something I wanted because my tracking in certain games like Apex and Valorant wasn't really the best, and I felt a little disappointed that I was doing pretty bad. So I decided to go ahead and change it up and try focusing more on tracking, which is the 2 things I recommend, by the way. Like, that's the biggest thing that you'd want to improve. By the time you're done with Aimlabs, you want to be better in tracking. Your reaction time and stuff isn't going to change too much. It really depends on the game that you're trying to improve, but tracking is going to be the best thing. Starting up day 4, I already went in and started doing some Spider Shot Ultimate again. I even decided to try out something new called Blink Shot Ultimate, which Blink Shot Ultimate just In Blink Shot Ultimate, you have a target that keeps zipping around like a jet would in Valorant. That's like the best example I could give you, unless you want some other type of game that can teleport you around at high speeds. So they pretty much just keep teleporting you around. You gotta keep your aim locked onto them. In other words, another tracking challenge, but it involves a little more challenge. It's a little more challenging than it is before, alright? So I kept working on that for like around maybe 30 or so minutes. It was interesting to say. Now that we got into day 4, I'd actually would recommend to try out Blink Shot Ultimate. It's gonna be a little difficult compared to the rest, but anything for that tracking, because damn. when my friend was actually showing it to me and on Val, I couldn't even track some walking target sometimes, and it was embarrassing, really. We all been there. But hey, practice makes perfect, and if you gotta do anything to practice, then you'll do anything. So of course, after Blink Shot, did some nice Spider Shot ultimates. It's always very fun to try that. I even did afterwards some free tracking, which was pretty nice. Was not that great though. Then afterwards, I decided to do this once. It was more of a little test. It's called Audio Spatial. I mean, Audio Spatial was interesting, and it was pretty good, but I guess it's more of really a test to see if your headphones are good, if you are using headphones, because when you're playing FPS games, I would really recommend using headphones. You don't want to mostly play on speakers, but if you are playing on speakers, then you do want to try Audio Spatial, see if you can get both of your speakers to see if you can get the sounds to actually pop up from the direction they should be coming from, left or right, you know, that type of deal. Unless it's in front of you, then it's going to be a little difficult. And then, to end it off, I decided to try out something new. I did something called Valorant Haven Entry. Yeah, see, I think you can tell here that the two main games that I was trying to improve on was Apex and Val. Since, on Apex, I was actually pretty decent, but on Valorant, I was pretty bad. Because on Apex, I peaked Diamond before. That's literally the highest I've ever reached, and that was back in like the old seasons. I bet now I probably wouldn't be able to reach that again, even if I grinded a whole bunch. I might be able, but it'd be a little difficult. But on Valorant, the peak I probably ever reached was Silver. Which afterwards, I did some Valorant Haven Entry, which was actually pretty useful. It helped me out a lot to find different locations on where they'd be able to peek and where they'd be able to see me. So that is always pretty nice to test out. And then, day 6 and 7, I did the same exact thing. I decided to do some more Spider Shot stuff and just practice my aim further just to fine tune it. And then, right on day 7, after I finished my hour, it was time for the big test. Time to see if the results actually paid off. And to get right into it, I just show you whether or not they did or didn't pay off, right? And as you can see, I wasn't the absolute worst. But this was all before the Aimlabs stuff, right? This is just after some fine tuning. So this is like for my most recent stream on Twitch. This is where I'm at now. You might see my face now.
Silence. My ultimate is ready.
Enemy remaining.
Come on.
Was that, dude?
Player standing.
No, yikes. And as you saw from that clip, that was just one round. I don't want to put too much into this video. I don't want to make it extremely long, since this is just a simple can 1 week of Aimlabs actually improve your aim. And as you can see, I've gone a lot better. I'm actually able to react to, though granted that game was a little unfair. That jet was a goddamn diamond. That jet was a goddamn diamond 3 smurf. So there was no way I was actually going to beat that. And there was no way I was going to beat them in a 1v1. Even though I did a few times, it was just they still had the upper hand against me. way more skill and experience with their characters, and that was my first time trying Astra. But that is besides the point. Once again, to answer your question again, Aimlabs in 1 week actually improve you. To answer that, yeah, it really can. Just not as much as you actually think it's going to do. It's still going to take a little bit of practicing on the game you want to improve in, but for sure, the game will help you improve your tracking and a small bit on the reaction time. But that's really about it. If you're, it isn't going to magically just going to be able to help you lock on into the heads and just get easy headshots, right? This all depends on the player and abilities and whatever type of game you're playing. But I think this is going to be an interesting video considering this is the first time I've ever done something like this. So Aimlabs, try it if it will. Try it if you want. It might not help you sometimes. It might actually. I've had friends who tried it out before and they haven't seen themselves improve. I have some that actually did and they somehow became really good. I have no idea. Almost makes you think they might be hacking. But alright, besides that guys, hope you all enjoyed watching today's YouTube video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell icon. And before I leave, might as well put a shameless little plug in here. I actually do go live on Twitch every now and then. I do mostly try doing it. I do try doing it every other day or some random day, but I definitely do go live during the week more than I do during the weekend. So do check out my Twitch channel. It really helps me out a lot. And without further ado, see you all next time. Bye-bye.